Hey, how you guys doing? The last thing I said in my previous video was, the longer you stay not knowing is the longer you stay not growing. At some point, you guys are gonna have to come to the realization that all these different conflicting ideologies you have going on, whether it be ADOS, FBA, whatever, which is ADOS and FBA is the same concept, different leadership. At some point, you're gonna have to make it make sense for you and make it produce what you guys talk about, tangibles. I am not certain how you're going to do that with conventions, having speakers, which we all pretty much heard those speakers speak before. But the end result is your social economic standing has not changed one iota in this country. And having this FBA conference coming up soon, it'll be the same concept. And the reality will be the same, just like the ADOS conference. Nothing really changed. Your conditions still remain the same. As I keep saying, for the sake of being redundant, all you're doing is changing the names, but the condition for the people still remain the same. It's like you're still on the foundation, while other people already build institutions and businesses. You're still on the foundation, the concrete foundation. Every time someone builds up something, here you come, you knock it down, you start back at the foundation again. You know, it sounds kind of insane, but could you imagine you building something right now and then, it'll be a business and your offsprings come 30 years down the line after you're done old and, too decrepit to do anything about it. They knock down whatever you have. So no, we don't like what you have. We're gonna start over. We're gonna knock it down to the foundation. And then they start building. They build something up, and then their offspring do the same thing that they did to you. Knock it down. Say no, we're gonna start over the foundation. Do you realize all you did is wasting time and wasting money while the other people building spaceships going into space, sending satellites into space, and you still on the foundation trying to define what you are? But for some of you, that makes a lot of sense. No progress, more rudimante, more talk, more and more talk about what you need to do and what you're going to do. At some point, man, you got to put the all this information you supposedly gathered, this knowledge that is power, and I really sure, and they have actually solidify my point so many times over and over and over. They have all this data, as they always quoting about, especially the ADOS people, Yvette and Tone. So have all this information, all this knowledge, but where is the power in that knowledge? You see, you have all this knowledge, y'all have all this knowledge. Those of you who are history buff can go all the back into ancient Kemet and all that stuff. And still, you can't make it make sense for you. You can't make it become a reality where you can actually build on that to change your social economic standing in this country. With all that knowledge of the pyramids, and I remember at one point in time, y'all talking about the metadata. Metadata haven't been deciphered. Like, who gives a damn if it was deciphered or not? It didn't change the paradigm. At some point, you have to say, wait a minute, man, where am I going with all this information? It's useless. All that stuff is superfluous to you. Whether or not it's been deciphered, I remember back in the day they had the Islam and trial, the Christianity and trial, the black woman, all this nonsense. And still, no progress. In fact, you actually have regression. Then you talk about voting down ballot. I don't think y'all really understand that With the advent of them okaying all these quote unquote illegal immigrants to be in this country, you don't know what they've actually done. They don't need you as a voting bloc. And they damn sure don't need you as a working workforce anymore. You haven't paid attention in the last 20 years. That paradigm have changed drastically, and you will see it more pronounced in different states that you live in. I live in Texas. I see it clear as day. I'm sure those of you that live in California will see it also. You are not needed anymore as a workforce, and they don't need your political support. So what are you talking about? Withhold your vote. You can withhold it all day long. At the end of the day, what are you going to do to make them deliver on what's owed? I am not in debate with you. Anybody that followed my channel for any period of time know I'm a big proponent of reparations. However, what are you going to do in the case when they don't pay? How are you going to enforce it? Have YouTube videos, more conferences of what they need to pay? Where is your enforcement organization to make them do things? You know how the people that run this country have enforcers, the police department, the military, and so forth. They enforce what they want them to do. They're actually code enforcers, really. The police officers, what they are. Law enforcers. But where is your organization like that to make them say, you know what, you owe me XYZ amount of money, I'm coming to collect? You can say cut the check all day long, but what are you going to do to make sure they write you a check? I'm still waiting for an answer. At some point, you have to move beyond emotions and empty rhetoric and focus on what's really important. And I gotta be honest with you, if you don't have an Africa plan, you don't have to necessarily move there. If you don't have a plan to say you're gonna start thinking about maybe investing there, I really don't see how your paradigm is gonna change much in this country. Because you say that many correctly, and you correctly say this, that some Europeans have an unfair advantage, which, like I said, some, because many of them I'm doing better than quite a few of them that I know. But nevertheless, I'll go by what you say. So you really think the government's going to put you in equal playing field with what you guys call the dominant society? I don't call them that, but that's what you call them, so I'm just using your verbiage. You really believe that? Deep down in your heart, you really believe that? If you believe that, then you have really distorted your reality. And there's not much more I can say or anybody else can say that actually can help you. You are one of those people who are slow to learn from history. And you all always talking about history, but it seems to me like you don't learn the lessons from history. I'm talking as calm as I can, because at some point, man, you have to really test all those theories and concepts and ideology you've been hearing all these years. You have to really put it to the test and ask yourself, where am I going believing this? Can I pass this on to my children? Can I give them a better life with these ideologies and these concepts and these redefinitions of self and all these documentaries? I'm trying my best to figure out where you guys going, man. I really am, because the way you guys are going, some of you, it's not looking good. I'm really trying to choose my words correctly. I mean, wisely. It's not looking good at all. You got some leaders like Yvette and them telling you you can't do nothing, you ain't got no money, you're poor. Damn. Do you know what kind of damage you're doing to your subconscious, to your psyche, telling you you ain't got no money, you're poor, you ain't got no money, you're poor? A side note, which really ties right into this. It's amazing how often I come across women looking for a good man. Some guys say the same thing too, but I mean, in regards to looking for a good woman, but mainly is a woman I hear say this. I'm looking for a good woman, good man. I can't find a good man. And they keep saying that over and over and over. I can't find a good man. Well, you keep feeding that into your subconscious, that becomes your reality. So guess what? You're not going to find a good man, or you're not going to find a good woman. If you're a guy, you're not going to find it because you keep telling yourself that. So even when one good person is presented to you, you're going to pick him apart because in your mind, you already told yourself you can't find a good person. So when they come along, you're going to find some flaw in them, looking for some type of problem, because it has to make sense to you that there is no good person out there for you. It's the same thing with these people keep telling you over and over, you can't do nothing, you ain't got enough money, you're poor. It's really dangerous. But these are the people that are leading a movement. I guess I never heard of self-reformations. Be careful what you tell yourself, because it just might become your reality. But the people say they do it for self. That's what they call people doing for self. So you can't do nothing because you can't do for self. So why don't you just go ahead and tattoo a tombstone on your forehead and be done with it? Why waste time trying to live a whole life? Just tattoo a little tombstone on your forehead and say, "Oh, I'm dead. I'm done with it." Somebody asks you what you got that on your head for. Well, I have it on my head because I'm dead. I have no hope. I can't do anything. So we ain't got no money, so I might as well just be dead. So maybe that's why some of these young folks already check out emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, because they have some people like that feeding that constant negativity into the children. And you wonder why they're partially screwed up. Be careful what you allow into your subconscious. Be careful the people you associate yourself with. Because as the old folks always said, and they were right, they were quite right, birds of a feather flock together. So if you're not like that, why are you allowing yourself to be aligned with them for? So no, I don't agree with that. Maybe you can't do anything, but I can. As long as I can draw breath, I can do something. But for some people, man, they run with it. And they allow them to talk down to them what they can't do. And anytime you try to interject to those same people, the vets and them, they get highly upset. When you tell them, yeah, well, we can do something. No, you can't do nothing. You tell me it was one person. Whoa. Yes, we can do something. But see, it doesn't fit the status quo. It doesn't fit their modus operandi. Everybody seems to have a motive of how they want to run things. How they want to actually corral you like herd. But a lot of you just can't see it. And then this Tariq fellow always saying something out the side of his mouth, man. But yet, some of you elevate this guy into the stratosphere of leadership, but he tells you he's not a leader. Every second now I see him now on somebody's video, he's bigging up the people over in the UK. After all he talk all that anti-immigrant stuff, now you're bigging up the people in the UK. Oh yeah, to my UK brothers and sisters. What? Well, newsflash, a lot of people in the UK come from the Caribbean, brother. So you was talking a lot of crazy stuff about people from the Caribbean and the immigrants and all that, man. Boy, at some point you have to really ask yourself, where am I going? How much more time and money I'm going to spend in this? Because you go into a next convention, I don't know what's going to come out of it besides more talk. Everybody up there that's supposedly speaking, you already heard them speak numerous occasions. You think they're going to produce some new information between now and then? Nothing will be discussed that's new. More history lessons, more about what's going on, what's need to be done. More and more talk. All the while fleecing your pockets. And you believe you have attained some type of new level of understanding, some new type of awareness. Something new. I often say I don't have any people, and I really mean that. I really don't. I just have people that look like me, nothing more, nothing less. I am not trying to lead you anywhere. Even the one they call Moses, whether or not he lived or not, is irrelevant. Even he, when he was leading, people went up in the mountain, come back down, the people down there making all kind of worship to false god, fornicating, all kind of stuff. And that was his people, according to the book. Lead them, Moses, the book said. And even he didn't have no control over the same people, but yet you think you have control over people, you want to call them your people? You have no idea what people will do. You can't control anybody. But what I'm saying might sound like, just a ramble to some people, maybe a rant. Perhaps it might be a little bit of both. Might not mean anything, might mean a whole lot. Don't know. But I'm telling you, at some point, all of this stuff, all this time wasting, all this gathering of information, all this re-identifying yourself, at some point it have to make sense for you. Because if it doesn't, you have wasted a lot of time and a lot of money. And as I said in my previous video, the longer you stay not knowing is the longer you stay not growing. Take it easy.